How's everybody doing today? We're back at the J Alvarez podcast, and I have a very special guest today. Her name is Patricia. Patricia, please introduce yourself.
Okay, I'll try. Should I get closer to
No,
this?
you're
it's
good right there where you are.
I'm Patricia Schriefgeiser. I am a psychoanalyst, psychotherapist, licensed mental health counselor, psychology, and an athlete, Ironman athlete, marathoner, hardcore. And that will explain why I also have branched out on doing a few things for the health of athletes and take care of, and sports psychologist. So take care of the mental piece and the physical piece.
Amazing. A lot that we definitely have to talk about today.
All
Let's
right.
get started with where you studied psychology.
It's a great question. I studied psychology in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and the John F. Kennedy University, and graduated in 1983. You were not in the planet.
Wasn't even thought of yet.
You were not even hovering. You were nothing. So welcome to the planet, but I was already doing this. For 20 years, I practiced as a psychoanalyst and psychologist in Argentina, and then came to America, 2001.
How old were you when you got here to
40.
America? 40.
40.
So you were born and raised
Born
in
and
Argentina.
raised in Argentina. Yep. And so came here at age 40, which is part of what we are going to talk later on the book too. If you have a dream, nothing should stop you. Whatever you want to do, you do it. So I wanted to come here, and here I am.
What was the initial thought process behind leaving Argentina at 40 years old, after you have studied, already went to college and got your title?
It's a very good question. Argentina is a beautiful country. They're a little unstable in politics and economy, so it was an up and down. And at some point, I was looking up to be in America and see how America experience would be. And that's probably was the thought process. I had a very, very well-established practice for 20 years there. And I just
Where in Argentina was your practice?
Buenos Aires.
In Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
Nice. What can you say were your struggles early on with your practice?
Over there or over here?
Over there.
You
started the practice over there?
Yes.
For 20
years. And I'm already 20 plus years here. There was no struggle. I think that I had a part of who I am and how I see the life. I had such a positive, manifested path that I wanted to take, that as soon as I graduated, right off the bat, I just started doing what I wanted to do and being very, very busy and I wouldn't use the word successful because it's a tough word. I would like to say that I'm very happy in practice and assisting a lot of people and doing very well.
And we're going to get into the book and the products that you have shortly. I just kind of want to talk about a little bit more about Argentina.
All right.
And how everything was over there for you. Would you say it takes about 10 years to build a self-sufficient practice? Would you say it takes 10 years in that industry? Or what do you have? I'm interested
I
to
have
see
better news for you.
Let me hear it.
I have better news for you. I think I will give you a discount. It's not 10 years, it's 2 years.
Wow.
So that's good news because you're young and you have a business and you are starting another business, which is awesome, and never stop, right? It doesn't take 10 years. It takes, first and foremost, in those days, there was no social media. So actually it was everything word to mouth, and that was it.
Yeah,
so
let's get into that. The marketing back then, no social media. What were marketing tactics for you? Were you making cold calls?
No, I actually was getting referrals, was a more word to mouth. And that is how I grew, word to mouth, which is It's sits on your work ethics and your own PR. And if people know you and do something with you, and you are amazing at what you do, and you are serious and your ethics is there, people will always come back. So I think that is where the word to mouth is. Like in my case, I got somebody who said, I think I want you to see my kids or my family or whatever, and that is how it grew. So this was then, and now you have this amazing tool, which is social media, and you really have. It's a whole different world, right? You
Yeah.
just use your Instagram, your Facebook, your.
Imagine
everything.
if you had that when you were growing your business, right? Back in the day.
Yes, absolutely.
So now we're here, right?
Yes.
And let's talk about the first things you did when you got here from Argentina, the first initial steps.
First initial step, first and foremost, getting the degree in order to being able to practice. That was probably for your next question. If there was a struggle, as soon as I landed here off the boat, that was the struggle. Because it was pretty much trying to, I had to go back to basically updating a lot of the knowledge that I already had out of school 20 years ago, and just put it back in the map and start. It was a little complex, but it was just a stone in the road. It was conquered.
Right. Real quick,
Yeah.
what does that entail, that transition? From a
Transi-
business aspect with your licensing and everything.
It entailed getting the office or the offices, investing in that, getting the paperwork in order, obviously have documentation as a American resident. Now I'm a citizen, and just start.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
So we have a book and we have a product. And
Yes.
tell them a little bit about the book. Tell them a little bit about the product.
The book, the book, the idea of this is the first book, right? So the book for me is women can do everything. I'm a big believer women can do everything, and the subtitle is "You Are the Strategist of Your Life," and this is basically empowering women that in different stages in their lives go through becoming a mother and having to stay home, and then want to put themselves back in the map in a work situation, or anything that life does to a person, a loss of a loved one, a loss of a job, anything that a person can go through. And in the book, I state 15,000 examples of what, because it's life. I base the book in my own patients' experiences, changing their names, obviously, but cases that I had over 40 years, because the book is 2 years old. So it's 40 years of clinical practice experience. And I think I've seen it all. I'm pretty sure I've seen it all. So this is what this is, the version in English, the version in Spanish. And it's doing very well because women find this book very inspiring. Basically, not to take no for an answer, not even deny yourself the possibility of do something different. And that's what is this. Beautiful. Second book is on the making, because my athlete side, which is a high competitive athlete in the Ironman international course circuit. So I'm also working on encouraging women that think that they cannot go out and start training and becoming fit, just encouraging that.
And you're training yourself.
I do.
Nice. So a prime example. Yeah,
Yes.
leading by example.
Yes.
So in your book, you have 40 years of experience.
Yes.
So much valuable information I can only imagine is
Absolutely.
in that book.
Yep.
How long has that book been out now? You said you're already working on your second one.
It's this is about 2 years, 2022. I just honored a lot of the time in the COVID years that we were all strapped there, which is part of the motivation, right? When stuff happens in the world or to whatever, you got to take advantage of what it seems like a big disadvantage and make it your advantage. So we were home, and I was like, okay, well, the practice went as telemedicine, which is awesome. But then I sat down and start writing a book.
So you wrote this book during COVID?
Yes.
During quarantine?
Yes.
Ah, nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And for any women out there
Yeah.
that are inspired by you and what you've done
Yeah.
and want to create their own book, what can you let them know? What is that process like?
Well, I think that it starts with a dream. It starts with the drive of wanting it so bad. And it starts with sitting in your chair, desk, computer, and start like throwing in titles, subtitles, ideas, drafts, and let it flow. And that's probably how I did it, right?
Were you catching yourself driving home one day, having thoughts like, oh, I want to put that in my book? You
Yes.
pull over, you write it down on your phone
Yes.
quickly.
Yes.
There was a lot of
Recording,
those
actually.
moments. Recording,
Yes.
voice
Yes,
notes.
voice notes.
There was a lot of those moments.
A lot of those moments, and I'm a runner, so while running, so then I was like, okay, I gotta go back fast and just write down my ideas, and yeah, it consumes you in a good way.
Right. Now let's talk about logistics and from a business standpoint, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to making a book, right? You need to get a writer, or how did you approach that to actually get it published?
Right. I found a publicist, and I started writing, and he was making corrections. And then there is a funny story to that because he's such an English major. So he was fighting me on the title because I feel women can do everything. And he was saying, no, the right way to say it is anything. Women can do anything. I said, no, anything is the means to feels to me the half glass empty. Everything is the half glass full. So we had a few fights over the title, and then I won. I said, this is my
book.
Has the title I want.
Right.
And so I won. So, but isn't that like anything is like less, everything is more?
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is more internal.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely more weight, more passion there than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you had the publicist. How long did it take from when you initially had it written, or how much of it was already completed, to when you went and had a meeting with the publicist? Were you 50% done, 60% done? Were you just getting started? How did that
No,
work?
it was a year, a process that took a year. Yeah. And complex, it's, you got to get the proofs, send him my manuscripts, and then you get the proofs. Then they change things because it sounds better. I don't like it or do like it. I'm Argentinian, so I'm ESL. So if I misuse a term, even in this conversation, if I misuse a word, I'm happy to leave it alone. Because it's part of the folklore of who I am, right?
100%.
I don't need to be perfect, and perfection doesn't exist. So it kind of like has to be there. So it was interesting for him to work with me.
And that also, I feel like that gives it more authenticity. Right? It's more core there.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So the publicist got it done in how long after that year?
Took a few months.
Few months.
Yeah.
And what
then
happens after that?
After that, or throughout this, I had to get photographer to do the photographs. That was another story. I'm a no makeup girl, or woman. So I got this makeup thing going on, and then pictures with poses, and I'm like, no. The worst part of that is when the pictures got touched And I look at one of the pictures, obviously not this one, and I said to the photographer, I say, I look like a cadaver. I don't want any touch. I said, you would be the only person who doesn't want to touch up photos. I'm like, no, I want it to be legit. I want it to be as I am.
Genuine,
And
the most
yeah,
most genuine as possible.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the product that you have here.
Yes. So this is another dream come true. And I trademarked this, which was another investment and idea, right? So I as an athlete, and I'm a vegetarian and no drugs, no nothing weird. I compete hardcore Ironman races, which is the long distance triathlon, swim, bike, run, 140.6 miles,
Wow.
plus marathons also. So those races require the right nutrition, of course, but also the right supplements. And I wasn't that keen on the supplements where it has extra stuff that mystery ingredients that I
Things
don't know
you
what
can't pronounce.
Yeah, exactly.
Things nobody can pronounce. It's like, what is this chemical? You know?
Yes. So it starts in my kitchen where start making in the organic capsules and buying all the organic powders. And they came up with a hubby. He is the brains behind it because he's really not his business, but he's a very self-educated into the chemist part of this.
And who is this?
My husband.
Your husband. So your husband does, he knows about chemistry?
He knows because he's an intelligent individual, but he is a businessman. But I recruited him. I said, we need to do this.
Let's make this product.
Yes,
let's get it out there.
And he got hooked into doing it. And so it's in the kitchen, have videos. It's funny as hell just to watch it. And then we made this one. Well, the brand is Patricia Health. And that's the logo, which is an athlete. Patricia Health is trademarked. So it's mine.
Right.
And I don't have my glasses, so I can't read to anybody what is in it. But trust me, I use it, right? So I'm using that for a while because we just got it out in the market a few months ago. But this is around fellow athletes and friends. So if I give an athlete a box, I said, just take it. Obviously, we are friends. You trust me. I'm not giving you anything wrong. And people go, what is in it? Because it makes you really fly. It's
Nice.
really, really good stuff in there. It's like totally legit. And I'm very happy with this because it's really, so friends that own bicycle stores and even a couple of people with functional medicine places want to sell it because it's really a good product. So I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
And it's a matter
Happy
of
for you.
Thank
I'm happy
you.
for you. So you did the first book. Now you have the product and you're working on the second book. And not to get back into the business aspects of it, but I really enjoy logistics and I really enjoy business and how it runs and how it functions. And you're very inspirational. I just met
Thank
you,
you.
but you're very inspirational.
Thank you.
And I feel like a lot of women are going to watch this or are going to follow you throughout
Thank
your
you.
journey and they're going to feel inspired.
Thank you.
Which is why I want you to let them know if a woman feels inspired and they want to create their own product, what does that entail? What you said you trademarked the name and then how do you source the product, right? All of that. If you could get into that, I would really appreciate that.
It's legwork. It's a lot of legwork. I didn't fund anything with a ton of money in the sense that there is no sugar daddy behind me, nothing like that. There is just me. I work in psychology, so basically I work a lot of hours a week with patients. So I fund my own dreams with my own money. and that is a triple, quadruple, well, multiplies the aspect of fulfillment. So you sit down and I started Googling stuff like I said, I wanted this to be mine. I don't want anybody to copy it and sell it under another name and steal the idea. I want a trademark. So I went to LegalZoom, let's say, and I Googled, and I was lost in a maze of letters and contracts and stuff. Annoys me a lot. I don't want to have patience for that, but then you force yourself to, okay, focus. Patricia, focus. And because the dream is, the drive is there. And I really did that. I just went through the LegalZoom thing, and then I think at some point was too slow for my patience. So I contact different lawyer friends to see if that was in track.
Right.
And then, this is America, so you can track with a number everything online.
Yeah.
Not like Cuba of your parents or Argentina in my days.
Right.
And so I was kind of like following. I'm very hands-on with what I do. I don't hire people to do things for me necessarily. And I like to be hands-on. So I was on this. The book, with the corrections, came a different word there. I said, why is that word who sounds from Ecuador, Spanish? Right, it wasn't an Argentinian word. I said, no, I need this to be an Argentinian word. Hands-on with everything I do. And I think this is what anybody who wants to start any business, I would start by saying, network, ask questions, talk to everybody. Don't be afraid. If somebody laughs at you, leave. Nobody could do that to you. And ask and do your research, and then be hands-on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And guys, you heard her say it. This was not investor that came in and helped her launch this stuff. She was still working her regular job, and on the side she would do her own research, she would do her own due diligence. And look, she was able to create her book, she was able to create her product, she funded it all herself. She has full creative control from what I'm understanding.
Yes.
She takes pride in every little detail, from this word to that word to the title to how the branding of the book is going to be. So it really is just all her. So it's a perfect example that if you have a dream and off of a burning desire, you can accomplish whatever you want.
Yes.
So it's fascinating.
Agree 100%. You are in that path, right? So, and I do not advise you or anybody to call a dream a side gig. It's not a side gig, because the moment you call your future business a side gig, won't grow as a business, will be always a side gig. So you can have many businesses with the same level of importance, right? I don't know if you allow me to say, but let's say you are a barber by trade.
Right.
That's your main business. But then you are having this other business. So it's not a side gig. It's your other business. And then you can have all the businesses you want.
Take notes, guys.
Yes.
Take notes.
Yes.
She is not lying. It's all facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And it's proven. I am a living proof of that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember at some point when I came here, I opened one practice, psychology, and then in Nyack, New York, and then I said, well, I want one in New York and one in Fort Lee. So I consulted couple of my family members, and no, you're crazy, you're going to be schlepping around and driving there, coming here, winter, summer. So everybody was saying, no, don't do it. I'm like, okay, thank you guys. Of course I did it.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah.
It's like people sometimes will tell you, oh, no, maybe it's too much. Maybe you will distract your attention from something else. If you believe in your capabilities, you have to do it.